Hey guys, let's talk about a little more about the avoidance, deterrence, de-escalation. Now, this is part of the 30 videos in 30 days series. So for 30 days, you're going to make a video and post it. No editing, no stopping, no do-overs, just real, raw, and just do it, right? It's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, and it's forcing me outside of my comfort zone of let me make sure everything's just right. Let me make sure that I said that correctly, all that good stuff. It's been a really good learning experience on how to deliver on demand. It's a really important piece that I need to develop, and here we are. So let's talk about avoidance, deterrence, de-escalation. Talked about it yesterday a little bit. You know, avoidance is just that, totally avoid the situation if I can. And you're going to win every single fight that you avoid. That's just like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that part, correct? And then deterrence, it's how we carry ourselves, how we walk. Do I move with an athletic bearing? Do I carry myself in a way that says, don't mess with me? And that doesn't mean I'm walking around mean mugging people and scowling or anything like that. But if you walk and move as if you are capable, if you walk and move as if you are dangerous, people are probably going to take a pass on you and look for the person who's got their head buried in their phone, looking at the ground, not paying attention, the person that's drunk or otherwise under the influence, who's probably not going to have the best responses or reaction time. That's the target that if I were a criminal, I would be looking for. And we know that most predators are not going to go looking for a challenge. They're looking for a hit. They're looking to just hit a lick and get out of there. Think about how the animal kingdom works, right? Lions don't sit up there and go, hey, feel like a challenge today. Let me find a water buffalo to get into it with and see who's left standing. It's not how it works. A lion looks around and says, oh, look, that little gazelle, young, small, can't keep up. I'm going to snatch it. And that's how they stay alive. So when we talk about de-escalation, now we're getting into how do I talk to people? How do I engage with them? Now, the avoidance part didn't work. Deterrence didn't work. Here they are. Now, de-escalation too, it's a valuable skill in more than just dealing with a bad guy, more than just dealing with a criminal. De-escalation is important because it's a piece of persuasion. It's a piece of rapport building. It's a piece of just interpersonal relationships. Like, how can I keep this situation from escalating into something that's out of control, taking a direction I don't want it to go, turning into an argument when I don't need it to be an argument. I need it to be a discussion that results in both of us walking away feeling like we won. And so it's very important that we spend some time thinking about this, not just from the personal protection perspective, but from the perspective of how do I better interact with other people, with other humans in a way that they get what they need and I get what I need, and we all walk away with a win, right? Win-win, that's hard to beat. I win, you lose, you're not happy. That means you either try to change it right there and get yourself a win, or you circle back later and get me. And that resentment, right? And that's what I'm talking about, like that inner office politics, the relationships with friends and family, things like that. So it's just a small piece. The dealing with a malevolent person, a criminal, is a small piece of that bigger picture. So we want to learn how to communicate effectively. So I'll give you a few things you could think about and work on. One of those things, we want to have a word track. I don't want to get into an interaction with this person. I don't want to get into a back and forth. I'm not trying to do the dozens. We're not little kids. I'm not trading mama cuts. I don't want to get into a place where I might accidentally step on a landmine and escalate this situation out of control. I want to keep it under control as much as possible. I want to take control using word tracks. And what are word tracks? Very simply, things that I have rehearsed just for this situation. Someone's approaching me. I know what's about to happen. Say I'm at a gas pump fueling up and I see some guy walking up. I know what's going to happen. He wants to give me this story about how he's out of gas. His wife and kid, they're in the car over there. Over there. You can't see it, but it's over there. And the whole thing. He wants me to give him money, right? Now, if I offer him some gas, like, hey man, let me have your gas. Let me have your gas can. Set your gas can down. I'll put some gas in it. Most of the time, that's not going to happen. They either don't have the gas can, or they would prefer to just have the money, right? So, red flags all over the place. So just for this one example, it's very simple. My word track, whether it's this, the gas can in hand guy, or the person coming up to me as I'm walking out of the restaurant asking for change, any of that, my immediate response is, can you hold up right there? I need you to stay right there, man. I don't like people walking up on me. I don't like people I don't know walking up on me. Now, if you say I don't like people walking up on me, that can lead into what kind of people? What do you mean? What's that mean? So I prefer to say that people I don't know. I don't like people I don't know walking up on me, man. Can you just hold up right there? I don't like people walking up on me that I don't know, right? Simple, direct. It is a command in the form of a question. Also, hands and body position. I want to plug those in. I don't want my hands like this. Palms out is like victim, right? Like, hey, would you please? I'm not saying would you please. I'm not saying please. I'm not saying thank you. None of that. That doesn't come into play here. This is a word track. My hands are here. If possible, I will go ahead and get my left foot forward a little bit and go, hey man, can you hold up right there for me? I don't like it when people I don't know walk up on me. Talk to me from there. Now, my hands are somewhere between knife handing, right? And this. I'm kind of playing in the middle. Like, also, what's significant about the positioning of my hands is that it's a very short trip from here to here. It's a very short trip from here to here. Makes sense? Or down here to my pocket where I can access my pepper spray, have it in my hand, and ready to go, right? So that's my first word track. I need you to hold up right there, man. I just don't like people I don't know walking up on me. Hold up right there. Talk to me from there, right? If they continue in, then I'm going to be like, hey, man, I asked you to stand back. Stand back from me, dude. Simple. That's it. I'm not deviating. I'm not getting into hey, man, well, let me just, no. I'm not going to deviate from this because I don't want to get sucked into this. The other thing I'm going to do, because of the camera, I can't really demonstrate it too well, is I'm going to take a step off so that I can see what's around me, what's behind me. I'm going to take a step to, if I'm standing facing the 12, right, I'm going to step to the 3 or to the 9 because I want to get a look on what's around me. Like, have things changed? We're always asking ourselves the awareness questions. The awareness questions are, where am I? What am I doing? Who's with me? Who's around me? What are they doing? I'm always taking just a real quick inventory of what's going on around me. Just like when you're driving, hey, that car up there, that dude stuffing his face on his phone, steering with his knees, 70 miles per hour, veering into the lane next to him. Hey man, I'm going to move over now. Just stay away from that dude. Look up, see a car coming up fast on my bumper in the rear mirror. And it's like, okay, well, if I'm in the left lane, I'm going to go ahead and bump over to the right lane. Or I'm just going to kind of stay to the inside of the right lane so that person has enough room to pass because obviously they're in a hurry. But these are things that I have to have this running inventory, constantly being aware of my surroundings and what's going on around me, who's who in the zoo and who's doing what, right? So I'm going to say those are my only 2 commands I'm going to give this person. And somewhere in there, my hand's coming down and I'm getting my pepper spray in hand, right? I'm staged. I am ready because I'm not going to take a whole lot of time or spend a whole lot of time negotiating with somebody who keeps encroaching, right? So once I made that decision, and that's also why I have the fence out there. I got my hands here. My elbows are in. They're protecting my body, protecting my head if necessary because I haven't had a chance yet to check out what's behind me and look around. I'm going to tell this person, you just stay right there. If they insist again, now's where we're getting to the point now where I'm going to get loud. And I'm going to tell them, man, stop right there. Stop right there. Simple, concise, direct. There's no wiggle room. I'm not negotiating. I'm not having a conversation. I just told this person, Stop right there. And now I'm moving off. I'm getting out of the way. I got to figure out who's around me, who's with me. That's also a concern. That's going to dictate my tactics a little bit. And now I'm making a move to get away from this person. So we'll get a little more into this. I don't want to go too long on this today, but I just want you guys to think about when it comes to the de-escalation piece, dealing with someone I don't know and someone who I just need compliance from them. I want word tracks. I don't want to get into a back and forth. I don't want to get into a, hey man, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? No, I don't need to know any of that. I have told them what I need from them, and they need to abide by that. If they don't abide by that, I have to be ready, which we talked about before. I have to be ready to make them abide. Like, I have to be ready to make them listen to me and do what I'm asking them to do. I have to be prepared for that next step. That's where all the training, all the preparation, all that stuff comes in. But if I'm not living that life, it's going to be kind of hard to sell the stop right there. It's kind of hard to sell that when you look like you're afraid of what's going to happen next. If I tell somebody stop right there, it's not because I'm afraid. It's because that's their last warning. And then I'm good to go. I'm going to let it go, right? Same for you. You have to have that confidence that I have told you to stop right there, man. If you encroach, you touch me, we're going to go. There is going to be repercussions for you and anybody with you. And the only way to have that confidence and to be able to sell that through body language, tone, inflection, eye contact, everything else is you put the training time in and you know, no matter what happens next, they're leaving a changed man. You might not win if there is a win, using air quotes, if there is a win in a street altercation or a self-defense altercation, but they're definitely going to know you were there, and they're definitely going to realize it was a mistake pretty quickly. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for this one. I'm going to cut out, but thank you so much for following along. Subscribe if you feel like it's something you want to hear more of. I'm going to be talking about this kind of stuff all the time. I really am a fan of the self-protection concepts, principles. I have been doing this a long time. I've been part of a movement for a long time to be that hybrid athlete, lifting heavy weights, running long distances, competing in MMA, jiu-jitsu, boxing, Thai boxing, stick fighting, everywhere I could test myself, shooting competitions, everywhere that I could test my skills to make sure I was up for that call if it ever came through to have to defend myself or my loved ones. And I have actually had to, on occasion, defend myself in a professional capacity from someone who wanted to maybe bring about some death or serious bodily injury. And I bear the scars from those encounters. However, I also took with me the knowledge moving forward that I can train and help others be prepared. So if you dig it, subscribe, jump on board, and let's roll.